It wasn't a sandstorm that hit the desert in Sin City. It was WrestleMania, the showcase of the immortals, the show of shows, where legends are born, heroes are made. Was it? I don't know. But all the things was WrestleMania 41, and the three amigos are here to talk about it. Man, oh man, so much to maybe talk about, from storylines to body slams to salacious things happening all during WrestleMania 41, both Saturday night and Sunday night. Fellas, welcome. We got the Mashup
Yes.
King. We got Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. And of course, I am Brandon Thought. Since we have 2 nights to talk about, or the whole weekend in itself, let's get directly into it. Who wants to say what? And let's get into it.
So it seemed like this was the weekend of a new move, old move, but new move because it was done over so many times, and it's called the low blow. I sat there and said, we got to do better. This. Look, you know what? Papa H, like Brandon would say, is my boy. That's
Mm-hmm.
my guy. But this was
Mm-hmm.
very AEW ish. Okay, like we could figure out ways to cheat and do corny crap without always going straight to the testicles for that to be done.
Okay. Well, for me, first of all, I want to, before we get into WrestleMania, I want to talk a little bit about SmackDown. I want to shout out to my boy Carmelo Hayes for winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think last year Braun Breaker won, and we see where he is this year. So now it is starting to mean things. And also to the Street Profits, what a great showing. I feel like y'all was robbed in that. Nick Aldis took the titles from y'all to make it what, TLC match or something like that. But
Yeah.
still, shouts
Yeah.
out to y'all. Y'all had a dope display. I enjoy SmackDown. I really, really want to talk a little bit about NXT if we could, because NXT stand and delivered absolutely did that. They stood and delivered. I don't know. Sometimes to me, I really think NXT is producing a better show than the show of shows. But we'll get into that as we talk about the show. So I want to do shout out Carmelo Hayes and the Street Profits, because SmackDown was lit to me for those reasons.
Okay.
Man, listen. For me, the best part for the WrestleMania weekend for me was that Jade and Naomi match. I really love that. We're gonna get into that. Uh, the Intercontinental title match, the 4-way. I enjoyed that match. We're
Okay.
gonna talk
That's
about
something else.
that. Uh,
We're gonna talk about the whole show.
yeah, yeah, but
Let's go.
it
Let's
was
go.
it
Let's
was
go. Let's go. Fuck individuals. The whole
no, no,
show.
no.
Night
Fuck
one.
you.
No. No. Shut the fuck up. We're gonna go do the whole show.
All right, I'm
No
gonna shut the
individual
fuck up.
matches. All show. Go. Let's go.
I'm a
You know
hothead.
what I'm saying?
I see.
Hey,
Oh, Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat.
night and look what I got on tonight.
What is that? A
Jay
Jay Uso
Uso.
shirt?
Yes.
Oh my fucking gosh!
Yes. Yeet. You know what I'm saying?
What a
Yeet.
perfect transition. Excuse me.
Yeah, what a
What a
perfect
perfect
All right.
transition.
transition.
So all right. So night one, just to give everybody a little context and everything like that before we start. We had a wonderful night one together. So all of us, the three amigos, spent the evening together watching the first night of WrestleMania.
We
It was
did.
powerful. I love being around my brothers. These
Yes,
guys
it
are
was.
the most amazing people in the world to watch a pay-per-view with. Everybody's funny, everybody's on, it's entertaining, and it was like literally, we were all, just pouring into each other, every positive vibes, positive energy, and we were excited. We actually wanted to do it last night, but things happen. But nonetheless, we're here to get today with each other. And you know what? It was an amazing event last night. And you know what? The hanging out was more important than the show.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah. The
it was
camaraderie,
more
building
important
up the
than the show.
brotherhood. Most
Yes,
definitely.
I
I would
love my
have to
two brothers
agree.
right there. They're two amazing people. All right. You want me to jump in, or you want, or
I mean, you go ahead and
I
go
got the
down
I
the
got the
card.
card
We
up.
give our opinion. You know how we do.
Okay. All right. So under the Las Vegas skies was
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 41 live from Allegiant Stadium.
Stadium.
And I want to
Yes.
just point something out before we start with anything. Um, this WrestleMania felt really different. It felt different. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of critiques, a lot of stuff. By the way, shouts to everybody that's watching us, because I got us on Facebook as well. So
Okay.
that could
Okay.
not do it. So I gotta, I gotta wait, have us broadcast on Facebook. So share the link on Facebook as well, because a lot of people's trying to hear what our opinion is, I've been promoting the whole show, right? And I've been talking trash in groups and arguing with
Okay.
and, and hear what we think. Anyway, night one, it started out with Yeet, all right,
Mm-hmm.
against Gunther for World Heavyweight Championship. I kind of already know what you guys thought about the match because we were together. But fellas, who want to take it?
Let me start it from here. So now I'm gonna give my honest opinion about this. Right? Wasn't happy. Wasn't pleased. As I sat there with amongst my brothers, and I said all the craziest shit that you can ever imagine. Right? So I hated it. I hated the finish. I don't like Jay's Uso's in-ring ability, and I like, come on now, like for Gunther to tap out, that made Gunther look weak. At least they could have let him just fainted it out. You know what I mean? And then that would at least made him look stronger. So I didn't agree with that. I ain't like the Gunther tapping out shit. So the negative is Jay being the champion, right? But the positive to this is new contenders. So that was my take from that,
Okay,
and
okay.
that's my part on that.
But so you didn't like nothing about it though?
Nothing.
Man.
Nothing. I mean, three fucking what was it? A spear, three Uso splashes, and a sleeper hole. Come on, man, please.
That's the way to slay the dragon. First things first, I want to
Yeah.
say, initially I had missed half of the match because we were supposed to be at a place we were supposed to be at, and things got all misconstrued. So I missed the first
Yo,
2 minutes of
yo,
WrestleMania.
I almost did a spit take. I had no one to drink down.
We were supposed to be somewhere, Shout out to the lovely bartender at the Lone Wolf Bar who easily let us know she didn't know that the event was taking place and that
But
she would put it in a group chat and we never got a response.
but
Nonetheless, we
crazy
did get
enough,
to stop by the bar and see the bar, but we were on our own road to WrestleMania to try to get to a TV in time to enjoy the event. But like I said on our prediction show, which I called a lot, which you'll probably hear a lot tonight, that Jey Uso and Gunther will open up WrestleMania because WWE wanted that moment where we would have a new world champion and it would be all over social media. And it was that and all of the things. I think Jey Uso deserves it. I want to see how he handles the pressure. I don't know what that was at the press conference, but maybe he was out celebrating with all 45 members of his Samoan Dynasty family members who were in attendance, who watched him become the world champion. How could he be main event Jey Uso without main event and having a WrestleMania moment and becoming the world champion at WrestleMania? So shouts out to Jey
absolutely.
Uso.
And if you're not closing, you should be starting, right?
Definitely. Opening if you're not closing, yes.
Absolutely. I thought this match was amazing. I mean, not for the wrestling ability, but I was just happy for Jey Uso. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I have in common with Brandon Thought is that we are emotional fucks, right? We
Mhm.
like a great story that is told. And when it culminates into something that seems positive, we ended up, soaking it all up. And I think that that's exactly what happened with here. Hey, here's the thing. Did we finally get his finishing move this match? That's what I'm asking my two brothers. Did we get his finishing move on this match?
We got all of them. We got what David was right about. Damn it, Sour Diesel was right about. I'm so used to talking regularly. What Sour Diesel was right about our last show with, him doing the splash because it was a move from the Usos into now. He also got some spears in there. And then obviously how the finish was, if you didn't see it, I hope we're not spoiling it. What's wrong with you? With sleeper hole, which caused Gunter to tap out. So maybe is that a new move in his repertoire? Like, who knows?
The heavyweight titles were how you say were lost and gained by just a couple of set of dumbass moves. That's what happened. Just
I think he did moves to his ability. I felt like he did moves to his ability. He worked with what he know.
Repeat, win. Repeat, win. Come on, bro.
It
Fucking
works for Cena.
three corny ass body splashes
It works for
and
Orton.
a sleeper hold. Come on, stop it.
It
Come
works
on,
for all
that's
the
Gunther.
greats. It worked
Come
for
on.
Hogan.
This
He
guy
leg drop.
was the listen. I don't give a fuck about a Hulk Hogan. This is a different era right here. Okay, what Gunther was a champion 80% of the time that he has been in the company.
We understand that.
He don't win against some crazy ass contenders in a Pete Dunne, a Tyler Bate, a Ilya Dragunov. You understand what I'm saying? And you went and lost to a fucking Jay Uso with 3 body splashes and a fucking sleeper hold. Come on.
That's what happened.
And they had him tap out to a sleeper hold. Gunther. No, come on. That's bullshit, bro.
But they cleaned it up well. They said that
that's bullshit.
That he knew. They said that Gunther did the tap because he's a veteran. He understands that he was not going to be able to get out of that, so he decided to do the tap.
Great ring awareness. The ring general. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Right. That was bullshit. That was a dumbass. No, I would have rather my nigga Gunther like. It would have been.
You wanted him to pass out like Stone Cold did?
I wanted to be more of a fight. Like let Jay Uso. Let Jay Uso really earn it. Like, damn, he really put him to sleep. Like, but I mean, a tap is good, but it's not convincing to me for him to tap out of Jay Uso. Like, come on, no, stop it.
First of all, I don't think that this is the last of this story. So the fact that he tapped out will probably be looped into or roped into while the story continues in the way that it continues. Well, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. But you made a very good point.
Along that road and away from that road, I hope Jay Uso somehow, some way, comes up with a fucking finisher. Please come up with a finisher. God damn it.
Another one.
Yeah.
Well, no, a one. Not another one, a one.
And that's my boy. And that's my boy. And I didn't even know
what the move is. Transitional moves that you do in the middle of matches. Nigga going a fucking body splash. It's not, and it don't even be spectacular. It is not spectacular about his body splashes, bro. He lands all sloppy. Sometimes he lands feet first and then falls. He's drunk. He's up there drunk. He's doing
it works for Jeff Hardy. It works for Jeff Hardy.
Come on. DUIs.
Wow.
Congratulations to Jey Uso.
I thought it was Jimmy with the DUIs.
It was Jim. That's okay.
It doesn't matter. They're twins.
So him and Travis Scott can't tell the twins apart. Got it.
You said what?
All right. So moving on to the World Tag Team Championship, the New Day versus the War Raiders. I'll start with this.
Did you say the War Raiders?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
that's disrespectful.
This match to me was very boring.
Yeah, can you put this over here for me?
Yeah, this that to me was very boring. I expected Big E to come out. I thought he was going to do some type of interference. This is started off my night of losing. With this here because I thought the War Raiders were going to win. Well, I didn't. Well, I didn't really lose this night. Tonight I did not. Last night, but anyway, I thought the War Raiders going to win, and their big asses didn't pull it out, and I'm very disgusted that they
wait a minute. You wanted their big asses to pull out?
No. They big asses didn't
pull it off.
They didn't pull it off.
Pull it off.
Okay. But they didn't pull off what?
I meant pull it out. I meant the win. That's also about the win.
The win like air?
That's with a D. That's a D in
that would be with a D.
Like your name.
Who says wind? Like I could feel the wind.
That's how you say it. I feel the wind.
Wind.
Who?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9,
no
10.
one says that. No one says I feel the wind. I feel the wind.
It's windy outside.
Well, then that's when you hear the D. You don't hear the D when you say it's win. You just say
Wind
win.
with a D.
I
Yeah, with
say
a D.
win.
Yeah. Win.
It's win.
Win is WIN. Like when you get the pin 1, 2, 3, and they win
Yeah,
WIN.
yeah,
Well,
very,
And then wind it blows in. But if you want to do
very,
a play on words, that works too.
there's win as in like the question to win, and then there's win like
Oh my God, that's
yeah,
WHEN.
and that's when, not
and then
win.
it's wind like it's windy. Win.
No, it's wind,
Win.
Listen, I know
win,
my
and win.
homonyms. Don't come at me with it. I know them. Or antonyms, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, you didn't.
Synonyms? Is it synonyms?
My baby can read. Wow. Let's go. Moving right along. What was your opinion on the tag team match?
Your take on the match, random thoughts.
Once again, if you missed our prediction show, you can
Wait.
go back to that. This was another one that I called. I said it made no sense for New Day to turn heel and go through all of the changes they've been changing and slapped by their mamas and disrespected in their hometowns if it wasn't going to culminate with them winning the gold at WrestleMania. Also, as D said in the last match, Sour Diesel said, listen, it's new champions. That mean new contenders. There might be call-ups. We don't know. We might see Fraxium get called up from NXT. And what better way to, kick off their career on Monday Night Raw with feuding with a team like the New Day? They all can relate. So, shouts out to my boys, the New Day,
And you know
on
what,
winning the titles.
Sidebar, thank you for that. Shout out to Fratium. That match they had during the weekend on NXT Stand and Deliver.
Mm-hmm.
That shit
With
was
Hank and Tank.
beautiful between them and Hank and Tank. I want y'all to go check that out. My thoughts on this match, it was boring, but it's the New Day. You know what I mean? I felt like, hey, War Raiders, they're boring. Let's somehow, some way get the titles up off them. And it doesn't matter how it was taken off them from when it comes to New Day, because it's always going to be like entertaining or what have you. So like I said earlier, just new contenders. I want to see new contenders. So yeah, that's pretty much about it with that.
All right. The next match on the card: Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Listen, you know what? I gotta hold the phone on this one. What am I doing?
Like I said last week, hold the phone because we about to get busy. He must be about to get busy. But I guess I can give my take while he's getting himself ready. First of all, I think that Naomi handles herself like the ultimate and a consummate professional. They both looked amazing. They both looked stunning. It was Black woman magic for sure. One of the storylines in WrestleMania that had nothing to do with the title, but had every bit of its importance. Um, in it. I think the way that Naomi handled Jade in the match made her look decent. She carried her in the match. I think that Charlotte Flair, even though we didn't get there yet, should take note from Naomi. And this is how you handle a rookie in the ring, and this is how you stay a consummate professional, because Naomi definitely did it. Great match. I thought that it was time for Naomi to win, but I still like there's still more storyline left. Jade, of course, went over. She looked beautiful. She was a lightning bolt. The storm was definitely brewing, and it hit the Allegiant Stadium in the form of Jade Cargill. Very good showing, ladies.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, D.
Match was good. Match was decent. Like match was decent. I liked how Naomi was carrying the match and showing Jade throughout the match what to do, and you could show her, like, you could see what she was telling her what not to do. But boom, all that, right? Here's my take. Naomi is the Foxy Brown of professional wrestling, because y'all try to forget about her, and y'all don't want to give her fucking flowers. And she came in and she fucking revived her career. Not that Foxy did, but I'm saying in the forgetfulness of it, like Naomi did a lot, right? And people like try to like shun her away, like she's not important of that big three within Jade and Bianca. So I stamped it. She's the fucking Foxy Brown of professional wrestling. Naomi, she did her thing. The look, the character, the new music. I loved it. Jade, you look beautiful, girl. You look beautiful. I love the match. Them black girls rocked. They went out there and they did what they had to do. And that's my take. To you,
All right.
Fonzie,
All
man.
right. So I will agree with both the fellas that this was, in terms of look wise, they both looked amazing coming out this evening. I mean, yesterday evening. However, this was one of the most worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm gonna say this was very um like I'm trying to find a match that's comparable to it.
Lex
Because
Luger and
when I see
Tatanka. Was it Lex Luger and Tatanka at
yeah,
SummerSlam?
yes, Lex Luger to Tonka. Yes, that's a great way for me. Because here's the thing. I love Jade Cargill.
Mhm.
I'm not a big Naomi fan.
Really?
No disrespect to her. Right? I like, because maybe because I always felt she was very vanilla all these years.
Mm.
So it just, now her character's starting to show. So it's growing on me a little bit.
Okay.
So but I like Jade.
That's
I like Jade. I will love Jade when Jade learns how to wrestle. When Jade motherfucking Cargill learns how to wrestle, I will love Jade Cargill. I like her. I like her. I think that right now, once she learns her move set, once she trains with a Mark Henry or the Undertaker or hell, even fucking Kane, and learn move set, I think she would be dangerous. Naomi did too much of carrying of this match. She called it in the ring so many times and it was visible. You know what I'm saying? I get that, I get that, of course, that, Jade, she's learning, but some things I'm just like, come on now, Jade. Come on now. Why do we hear what's about to happen? Okay. Why are you sitting there with your fucking back like this? Waiting for for the move to hit. Like, come on now, that's on camera. Like, those things are things that should not have happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm applauding her because it was her first WrestleMania. There's jitters, there's nerves, there's all that stuff, but we got to do better in the future. That's all I'm saying in regards to that.
I believe the whole time when they were just like cutting through the promos, like, what was she doing? She should have been training.
Yeah,
I mean, she probably was training, but it's one thing to be at that performing arts center. That's why on the shows like LFG and Evolve and all of that, they have them performing under different lights. But this is WrestleMania. This is 61,000. This is the Allegiant Stadium. They have a big spotlight put on them. So I mean, we already had a discussion about, like black wrestlers and being utilized. They are two ones that were utilized on the main stage on night one. So it was probably pressure. I mean, pressure only, we'll see if it'll make diamonds or if it'll burst pipes.
true indeed. Next on the card, this this one I think is my all-time favorite on the card. It was Jacob Fatu versus L.A. Knight. Yeah, for the United States Championship. D, why don't you take this one?
Um, you know, leading up to the match, I wasn't well, not even leading up to the match. I didn't have no confidence in LA Knight, but he had a couple of spots in the match, like especially when Jacob Fatu was going for the double springboard moonsault and he caught him with that BFT. I loved it. So that changed my mind on him. But Jacob Fatu, excellent showing. This was his coming out. He needed that. He did what he needed to do. Like I said, new champions, new contenders, and that means new matches, and that's what I want to see. Congratulations to Jacob Fatu.
Random thoughts.
I mean, for me, LA Knight's interest was good. Shout out to the real Action Braxton, my homeboy. He was one of the people when Charlotte pulled up in her entrance. He was there. He was one of the extras. So shout out to him. He's probably watching right now. If not, I'll send it to him. He watching. In terms of the match, nothing that I didn't expect didn't happen. I knew that Jacob Fatu is a supernova and that he's a big star, and he was able to be displayed on the main stage and become the new United States champion. LA Knight, Great job. I don't feel like whether you lost or won that this match wasn't going to make or break your career. I think that this is the showcase of the Immortals, and what you did was showcase why you are supposed to be there. Am I still a fan? No, but nonetheless, shout out to Jacob Fatu for winning.
All right. I think that this match was pretty good. I liked it. I wanted to see Jacob win, you know what I'm saying? And I felt that it was, it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling. Shout out to Haku that came down to the ring.
Yes, my boy, how cool.
That, and actually, fun to find out, he just jumped the barricade. He didn't come down. He just hopped the barricade and came over into the match. So,
Yeah, but like we said, who the
shout,
fuck is going to stop Haku?
not me. Not me. Not me. That man can do whatever the fuck he feel like. Okay.
We seen him. We ran into him when we was in Hog one time. We seen me and Sour Diesel. We saw Haku. So yeah, go ahead.
All right. Next on the card, El Grande Americano
Wow.
versus Ray Phoenix.
I'll probably kick this one off because I feel like Grande Americano. I've been so impressed with this superstar lately. There's been a lot. We've seen the acquisition with AAA to WWE. There's been a lot of appearances with Ray Phoenix, Penta. A lot of the people, a lot of the things are happening. And I think this match was absolutely amazing. It was amazing. Ray Phoenix had
It was.
got to have a display at WrestleMania. It was a little bit of jitters. It was a little bit of buzz, but who's not nervous? But nonetheless, they went out there. They put on a great, great match. It was a testament to both amateur wrestling as well as professional wrestling and lucha libre, all encapsulated in one. And shout out to my boy. Like I said, was going to win was Grande Americano. This was his first WrestleMania. What an impressive showing.
Okay. D,
I mean, to tell you the truth, to see two new superstars on a WrestleMania card like that, and two new lucha libres, nonetheless. I mean, listen, man, that was a good match. They put on for the community of luchador wrestling. That El Grande Americano, he's fucking great, yo. He's fucking great, phenomenal, fantastic in the fucking ring. I can't believe he does the things that he do. That was a great match. Congratulations to El Grande Americano, for real, and welcome to America.
I like that. Well, wait. No, well, I don't know about that. I'll say that Chad Gable Grande Americano did a great showing. He did a great showing, at the show of shows. Shouts to Ray Phoenix. This was a big night for former a big weekend for former AEW people, as D pointed out. Sour Diesel pointed out yesterday. So it was a big night for former AEW, and he did his thing. Chad Gable did his thing. El Grande Americano.
What WrestleMania was he watching?
Oh, so you one of those people?
Yeah.
You one of those people? You like doing that? You like telling lies?
And not being a reliable source.
Like, what's going on?
Journalist with integrity. You're the match out king. You're the Panamanian god. How dare you besmirch yourself?
What are you, a Dave Meltzer?
Okay, I'm just saying, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's usually a duck. And
I thought it was usually a chicken.
I believe it's Chad Gable. I don't know about anybody else.
Sure, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, then it's probably a cow. You might never know.
Nobody saw Dragon Lee around last night, but I'm gonna just be quiet. It's still my story that it's Dragon Lee being two people.
I don't know about that.
He wears a mask. You wouldn't be able to know. I'm telling you.
You know what?
It makes perfect sense.
Anything's possible.
That's true in the WWE. All right, moving right along. Sorry.
All right.
I mean, there was two.
So the next thing is
they did like this. It was two doinks. WrestleMania 9 in Vegas. It wasn't a mirage.
No.
We had two Undertakers.
Yes. Two Canes.
Two Canes, two Diesels, two Razor Ramones. Okay? It happens.
I guess. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. All right, I'm gonna start this one.
Sure, take it away.
This one felt like we were in slow motion. I mean, I felt like I had to ask. I almost asked Brandon Thought, can he hit the fast forward button on this match on Peacock, because this was a sleeper. The best thing about this match was when the bell rang and it was over. I mean, it was just literally, it wasn't needed. All right, it was something that was rushed. The story was not well told, and it played out in the ring as well. Also, one thing the WWE needs to be careful of is they did not realize how many title reigns that Charlotte Flair had, because had it had been that she won last night, she would have got to 15 and she would have been a sliver away from 16. So, that is my opinion when it comes to that. I believe that Charlotte Flair, needs to take a break from the title scene, make her go into tag team champions, whatever. You don't need to be on top. That's just my opinion. What do you guys could
take away from the world title scenes and put her into the mid-card title scenes. Make that something and, traditionalize that. I think that would be great for her legacy. Put on for that. To be honest, I don't remember nothing from this match other than they both was wearing the same fucking ring gear. And they're both blonde. And I think I remember Tiffany doing her move, and that was about it. Other than that, I don't remember shit else from this fucking match. I'm not even. I think I went to the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom for about a long time. That was when I was arguing with your cat. But that's the
You was having your own match with Persia.
Yeah,
Okay, well, for me, one, I stated even on our prediction show that one, this match was way too soon. We needed more of a build up for this match. They put them together, the pair to get Charlotte something to do at WrestleMania and Tiffany Stratton. This was something that should have been built up a little bit, maybe take even 2 years to build up. I'm not looking forward to seeing them collide again. I think it's too much of I think one needs to be on one show and the other needs to be on the other show. And if they happen to meet at a War Games or a Survivor Series or something like that, then by all means. Other than that, I think once again that Charlotte was the veteran in this match and that she should have handled Tiffany Stratton just a little bit better. I thought the match 2 was on slow motion. There were 2 matches on WrestleMania 1 and WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 that I felt was a little bit dragging, and it went on way too longer than what it needed to be. And that was one. This was one of them, and the other one was Logan Paul, AJ Styles. But I'll talk about that when we get to night 2.
All
So
right.
shout out to Tiffany Stratton for being one of the only champions last night retaining.
I just want to add this. The only thing, and what I do remember from that Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton match was that video package. I loved it. See, over the course of time, the build was bullshit. But when they threw music over it and they did some edit scenes and put here and there and there and there, they did a good job. It felt like a My Way to me, like a Limp Bizkit My Way video package. Yeah, that was it.
All right.
Wait.
Yep.
Who's drama outside my building? Oh my gosh, it's heating up. I love when it gets hot. I hear drama. It's calling me to go be nosy and look. But you know what?
We'll fight that motherfucker because we need to get on to the main event.
I don't know if it's a Royal. I know it's WrestleMania tonight, but it sounds like it's a Royal Rumble out there.
No, we're gonna get to the main event. All right. So the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Sour Diesel, what's your take on what is your take on the main event, Sour Diesel? Inquiring minds would like to know.
My take on it. My take on that match. Listen, man. If y'all was looking for cinema again, you got cinema again. And that was in this match. And my fucking prediction was right. Seth freaking fucking Rollins, the architect, the mastermind, the visionary, the preliminary, and the delivery driver. He's all of those things. It was a good match. Shit. Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was he was a key to this match. I mean, with the facial expressions, and you don't know what he's going to do. Keep questioning, like, when is he going to do it? Who is he going to do it to? And I was right. I like what I saw. I like what I got from it, and I want to see what's going to happen going forward.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
What you
first
got?
I would like to shout out to our fans who listen and watch, who commented on our last video, the predictions video, who all said the ones that was like, "Wow, I never thought about it like that." You guys are very, prolific when it comes to WrestleMania predictions. I never thought about, Paul Heyman probably siding with Seth Rollins, but of course, all three of us here, we saw that a mile away. We all predicted that Seth Rollins would win. I mean, I gave the drawn out story of, Paul Heyman turning on him, but we all felt the same way. That's why we're the three amigos. I think the match was a very good match. It did not hold up against Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans on Stand and Deliver. But for what this was for WrestleMania main event night one, I think it's kind of like two WrestleMania main events still spilling over because this is still like almost residue from night one of WrestleMania Philly last, WrestleMania 40 almost, with Seth Rollins being involved with Roman, having a
Yeah.
tag team match and then being involved with Roman losing the title to Cody Rhodes. And then now it's kind of spilling out into the next WrestleMania with the whole Paul Heyman storyline. I look forward to see Seth Rollins again revising his career, breathing breath into his career, as I said on our prediction episodes, with the tutelage of Paul Heyman. What will he call him? Will he be his noble man? Will he be his, what's his name going to be? Will we get new music? What's the looks going to be? They have a picture going out of like Penguin and the Joker together saying that Roman is Batman. So I'm interested in seeing where this story is going to go. Where does this lead Punk? Where does this lead Roman Reigns? Inquiring minds want to know. Masha, what did you think of it?
Amazing storytelling, great match. Um, I found it extremely entertaining. You guys saw I was into it. This was really good. Um, shouts to Paul Heyman, these fucking facial expressions, man. Like Paul Heyman really and truly, inside of his WWE Hall of Fame ring, Triple H inscribed consigliere inside there, right? And I think that he just knows how to get the audience engaged just by just a facial expression. I mean, the whole coming down with CM Punk and making him feel good and stuff like that, and then screwing him in the end. This is just all leading into a great Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow night. So we're gonna be wondering what's the fallout. What is Seth gonna say? What is CM Punk gonna say? What is Roman Reigns gonna say? It gave you so much, and then who's gonna be the feud, right? Obviously we don't know it's gonna be a triple threat again. Who the fuck's gonna be the feud? Is it gonna be Seth and Roman? Is it gonna be Seth and CM Punk? We never know. So, and it might be for the battle of Paul Heyman, right? Or it might be that everybody want to get back on Paul Heyman. So many stories could come out of this thing, and this is why Triple H is the GOAT when it comes to doing this, because there's so many ways you could go with this, and I'm very excited to see how it's going to go. Nonetheless, that's the end of night one. It's the end of night one, WrestleMania weekend 2025, WrestleMania 41. Let's jump right into night two because everybody got to get up in the morning, so we're going to jump right into night two. Night two started off with the WWE Women's World Championship Triple Threat World Championship Triple Threat. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. So, Big Daddy Cool, I know I got you the last time. Random thoughts, what you got?
Okay, first off, WrestleMania Night 2 kicked off with Stephanie McMahon, who looked very ravishing. There were some marks on her arms, but I'm not familiar with what was those marks on her arms? I don't know if anybody out there noticed it, but if you go back and look at it, there was something going on her arms. Anyhow, the triple threat match, first of all, I think all three ladies, I said in our group chat, and I'll expound upon it a little bit. I felt like this was no different than when Daniel Bryan, Yasumania his way into the main event, taking on Batista and Randy Orton. Or this was no different when it was Chris Benoit taking on Triple H and Shawn Michaels, two people who have a history already embedded in it. You probably felt like the main event should have been Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, but you could not deny Io Sky, and she showed up and she showed out in this match. From her entrance, I mean, I think all of the ladies came and represented their brands and who they are as professional wrestlers with their entrances. The match that they put on, they really showed up. I think that triple threat was one of the best openers of WrestleMania that I have seen in a really, 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 really long time. Great storytelling. It had me at the edge of my seat. And shouts out to all the ladies, and more importantly, shouts out to the who retained her World Women's Champion, the genius of the Sky, Io Sky, which was Sour Diesel's pick, by the way.
Yeah, shout out, congratulations to EO. This was a good triple threat match. It was I liked it. I was excited for it. Going with Bianca, right? You saw the seeds, they saw the change on her. They're booing her now. I want to see her lean. I want to see her lean into that and see what they're going to do with that. I felt like when she used her braid to try to get the win and go for the her finish, the KOD. Yeah, I felt like that was a little bit towards that. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Y'all already hate me now, so y'all gonna hate.
Even the yelling in Rhea's face, that was kind of like days of already tapping and leaning into that way of her character, that arc of her character.
Right. So like you said, there was a lot of story into the match. That being one of them. Rhea Ripley, and the Rhea Ripley and Bianca. It shows you that okay, we all wanted Rhea and Bianca for it to be them at WrestleMania, but them two are so caught up in their own shit that they're forgetting about Io, and this was the reason why Io was the retainer of the championship, because these two got some shit that they got going on, and Bianca's all over the place. She got mad shit going on, but this match was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Okay, okay. So here's my thought. Good match. I win, and I still believe she should have won. Io, not taking anything away from her, but I need mommy with that title again. I think the title looks better on her.
She just had it.
I know, and I want her to get it back. I think the title.
But you also picked Bianca Belair to win. But okay,
I didn't pick Bianca Belair.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did not
You
pick
did.
Bianca Belair. I did not pick.
You
Yes,
did.
you
You
did,
said I'm
bro.
gonna go with QB and I'm gonna go with the EST. That's what you said.
I don't know. Then maybe I was drinking.
You said you can't spell WrestleMania without the
Without
EST.
EST.
Without the EST. That's for damn sure.
And you chose Bianca.
You did. Right
I don't
after
remember
me.
that.
You
That's
agreed
a
with me.
legend.
I do. Nope. It's a fact.
It's
But
a
okay.
legend.
I don't know. The verdict is still out with that. You know. But I wanted mommy to win. I think mommy should have won. But I'm happy for Io Sky nonetheless. You know?
Speaking of mommy, thank God to WWE's makeup and like design team, because I know a lot of people find Rhea Ripley to be very, very sexy and mommy to be mommy. But she wasn't always a looker, and she's grown into her looks and she's honed her looks and what it is like her look is, and
without the makeup, it's a little rough.
displaying that
Without the
goth
makeup,
look
she's
and
still
now
beautiful.
refining it and being refurbished. So shouts out to Rhea, shouts out to mommy too.
Without that makeup, she's still beautiful, because it's not about her face; it's her aura and how she's still Rhea bloody fucking Ripley, and you better watch your mouth.
I did, but I got
No, not you. I'm talking. I was talking to him.
Oh, okay. Next.
Anyhow, yeah. So Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Anybody?
Well, one, I did like that they invested money into Drew McIntyre's entrance with the whole Doomsday. There was a lot of product placement in WrestleMania between the mat, the ring pads, the match sponsors, Snickers, and the Minute Maid mascot. There was a lot of product placement, but Drew McIntyre had an effort in his outfit. His entrance was really, really good. I think the match was hellacious. It's no different to me than what could have been a main event on Monday Night Raw. But shouts out to Drew having a WrestleMania moment. He's been working all year. This has been a rival that has been trying to be like a pimple and come to a head and exploded. Drew McIntyre went over. That is who Sour Diesel picked to win that match. And it was what it was.
Yes, shout out to my boy DMT. Okay, that's Drew Matt Daddy. But and to be perfectly clear and honest here, I really wasn't paying attention to the match. I was watching bits and pieces of it. So from what I take of it is what I got from it, and what I got from it is what I saw from it, and what I saw from it that Drew was the winner, and congratulations to Drew. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. And sorry, let me stop being an asshole here. I was unpleasant at first in the beginning. Like, I want something more from my boy Drew. Like, you can't do this to Drew. Drew has gotten better over the years, and especially over the past year. But looking back at it, it made sense. The story is storytelling with him and Damian Priest, and yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry right now. I've lost my train of thought. Just going mad. Oof.
Okay. I'm going to move on. I thought this match was corny. I don't really have any thoughts about it. I think that we gave it way too much time that it needed to be. I thought this match was a waste of time. All right, we're going to move on to next. Yes!
A lot of matches was a waste of time.
Oh, you damn right, brother. Because when we do the final wrap-up after the end of the night, after we get through the whole show, I'm going to have your take on it. I want your take on it. I'm going to give a take on it of how we thought the whole weekend was.
Okay.
All right. Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. All right, I'll start this one. Let me tell you something, Dirty Dom. I was very surprised you came out as a winner, okay? But I was pleasantly surprised with that too, because I thought about in the long run, you are the workhorse of the company. You're the one to take the most abuse, and it seems like every new person and every old person that come into the company, you're like a measuring stick at this point, where you're the one that goes up on it. So you need the title reign. I actually enjoyed when you were the NXT Northeast champion. I think that
North American. Fuck?
Oh, shut the fuck up, okay? I'm entitled to make one mistake. Yeah, like I was saying.
Northeast, like, what the hell is this? The Northeast Alliance Wrestling.
You know what? I'm going to keep
Jake the Snake is the champion.
He's just a champion. He's just a champion of New Hampshire.
You know what I'm saying? And South
New
American
Hampshire champion.
I enjoyed when he was there. So, kudos to him. Random thoughts.
I thought, first of all, that this match was amazing. I was not underwhelmed with the individuals who was chosen to be in this match. For some reason, I thought it was supposed to be a ladder match. But then when they made the point that this is one of the first just straight fatal four-way matches for the IC strap, I think everyone had a great showing. Penta got to show what he can do. Braun Breaker did his duck dizzle like he always did. But of course, the number one Lucha Libre wrestler in all time, Dirty Dom, who was my pick to even win this match, is the new IC championship. But I have a question. Did we see a face turn? Is Dominic kind of face? Because he got a resounding applause when he won. He even went back in the ring and went to the top rope, and he had this whole moment. I mean, in the history of Rey Mysterio winning the IC title, and of course Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero getting the IC title, it was only destined that Dominic would take his rightful place as the Intercontinental Champion. So shout out to Dirty Dom.
And also, he got a "You Deserve It" chant.
He absolutely did, because he does.
He damn sure do deserve that shit. Dominic oh my gosh. Before, I used to think, I don't know how this shit's gonna work out for him. He ain't To me, he had the look. He looked like a fucking complete doof, a goof, and I think he even lost a tooth. But I should have said that in the booth. But anyway, shout out to Dominic. You're my guy. You were the guy that I chose for this job. He deserves it.
And you
It
brought
was,
him in?
huh?
You brought him into the business?
I mean, I'm talking about for the job to be to win the match.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Braun Breaker, phenomenal, outstanding. He's gonna be moved to he can go to the world heavyweight contendership.
Yeah, they can renew the Jey Uso Braun Breaker rivalry.
He could do that. He did what he needed to do with the IC title, and it looked good on him. He looks good as a champion, so I'll see more for him in the future. Penta, he did what he needed to do. You know, we're gonna see more of him. And now we're gonna see more of Finn versus Dominic, because we seeing that Dominic is now going to be face, and we see that Finn is just a hater. Finn can't be around nobody as a champion. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is with Judgment Day. Anytime they win a fucking title, one of them going to be like kind of face-ish. That's what we saw that with Damian Priest, and you saw your boy Finn. He's a hater, and Finn. I like when Finn is a hater. So kudos to all the gentlemen in the match, and definitely shout out to my favorite cousin, Dominic Mysterio.
You know, also I want to give a bonus shout out to Carlito for taking that spear through the commentators table. You know, this guy is here to take bumps. You know, did he actually is replacing JD McDonough for the guy that take the random bumps at this point?
Right.
You know, he took that as a champ. By the way, shout out to JD McDonough. Hopefully, your recuperation is going well.
He was at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's good to see. That's good to see. All right, next on the list. So this man came out. He had no partner. This was Randy Orton, and then we saw
opponent.
No opponent. I apologize. And we saw Joe Hendry come in from TNA, the current world champion. And your thoughts, Big Daddy Cool?
These are thoughts.
Well, I kind of hope I was hoping for someone else. You know, I was hoping for Rusev Day, but that didn't happen. I guess we'll see that somewhere else. Probably see that tomorrow night, hopefully. And considering he was in the headlines, they were supposed to do this with Miz, and they saved it for the right time, so that was good. Another filler match, I guess.
Okay.
So all
right. Brandon.
Well, I clearly work somewhere in the back because I called this one out as well too. Joe Hendry, once again through his popularity, seen him in town. Why else would WWE get in conjunction with TNA and also want to honor their new acquisitions with AAA and without showing that, hey, there's a chance that your TNA champion can now be displayed on WrestleMania, the big stage. We saw a lot of debuts. We shouted out former AEW talent, but a lot of the talent was, NXT talent that we seen. What was it, like 90% was NXT alumni talent that we have seen on WrestleMania, both night one and night two. So shout out to seeing Joe Hendry. The moment was dope with the RKO after he does his thing, and then Randy Orton turns around and does the Joe Hendry face zoom in cam shot and does his thing. It was definitely a good moment, a decent match, great storytelling. Shouts out to them.
I thought it was a great match. I thought it was entertaining. I thought that it was to a point where, I was shocked. I also thought it was going to be Rusev too. So I believe that. But, it is what it is with that. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. All right, this one is what me, you, and you will all call this match a filler, which was Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Any real thoughts? Because I could just move on if y'all want to talk about it.
A fucking drag, and I'm so sorry. I apologize for for AJ Styles. I'm sorry. He should not been in that match. I feel like most of this, I'll give my whole thoughts overall about WrestleMania later on. But no, I didn't like this match. It was too long, too fucking long. Like my explanation for this shit right now is too long. And that's all I gotta say about that.
I would have to agree. Like I said, when Charlotte and Tiffany Stratus was, I mean, oh my God, Tiffany Stratton.
They all
You know,
look alike. I understand.
yeah, baby girl. When they were having their match, I thought it was way too long, and I thought this match was entirely way too long. I think the caliber of superstar AJ Styles is, no matter what kind of skills Logan Paul have obtained in the past few years wrestling, he ain't fucking with no AJ Styles on no day, no matter how they slice the pie. And as I stated in our prediction show, this is more about a story between AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross had a
Yeah.
great showing at Bloodsport during WrestleMania weekend. GCW's Bloodsport. He also got to be displayed at WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to see what Karrion got going on, if he's gonna be carrying on this year. So that's what I thought of that.
I don't really have a thoughts. I'm just gonna move on. I don't really have
Okay,
a
that's
thought on
fair.
this match. All right. Okay. So next on the card, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who are the current women's, well, not the current, though now the former women's world tag team champions, went against Lila Valkyria and a mystery partner. The mystery partner ended up being
Her name
Becky
is
Lynch.
Lyra. Her name is Lyra.
That's what I said. That's what I fucking said.
You said Lila.
No, I said Lyra.
You said Lila.
I'm reading the screen. All right.
Well,
I'm reading the fucking screen. All right.
I don't know what's going on with your screen there, pimp.
I'm reading the screen, asshole. Okay. It just said Lyra.
I don't know what's going on with your screen, big dog.
Listen, I'm reading the screen.
Yo, you all right, big dog?
Listen.
Yo, that big dog is funny. Anytime I hear that shit's so loud. Yo, big dog.
Go ahead, Nick.
For one, I was sitting here and I said, when Lyra didn't have a partner, I said it was gonna be Becky Lynch. I think in our group, I said it Saturday when they made the announcement that Bayley was out. I said it was gonna be Becky Lynch, so I was expecting Becky Lynch. I think they was going for a wow factor, especially after in the media she's been saying, "Hey, I'm staying away from professional wrestling. I'm not wrestling right now," so it created a more of a surprise or a buzz. I wasn't as surprised. I expected it. Actually, decent match. I'm not really big sold on Lyra Valkyria yet, but I think she had a decent showing in this match. I saw Becky was still in black. I thought she should have wore white to match her partner. So I'm still not sure if down the line she is going to join her husband and be with Paul Heyman. But we'll see how this plays out because they are to defend the tag team titles at NXT on Tuesday. So we'll see. Dope match though.
Jay, what's up?
Oh, and good acting by Liv Morgan, acting afraid.
Well, you know what I like about this match was Liv's and Raquel's ring gear. It kind of reminded me of The Outsiders. I thought I was looking at Scott and Nash. Yeah, Hall and Nash.
Oh, it looked like the Bella twins to me, but I got you.
Well, the female just shut the. Well, anyway, I got Hall and Nash.
Okay.
Anyways, I was not paying attention to this match, and I am one of the biggest, one of the hugest, gigantuans of fans when it comes to Liv. Okay, but I just was not paying attention to this match. And welcome back, Becky. I don't like Lyra like that, even though I was giving her props a little while ago. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take
So
it back.
you wasn't watching Liv Morgan. Watch me. You wasn't watching her.
No, I
He
wasn't
has
watching.
a lot going on.
Okay.
He had a lot going on during this.
Okay. You got the Royal Rumble going on in the building.
Mhm.
WrestleMania on the TV screen.
Damn. And it's over. Fuck. I ain't want to know who was doing it. Shit. Yeah.
All right. So going on to what I thought about the match. It was there. I mean, it was there. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I did do the bathroom break, on during this match. So I came
No
back.
shit, it's a Liv Morgan match.
Yeah. It was there. Kudos to the women for doing their thing. It was there. I didn't really, but I could say that this could lead back to a feud now between Becky and uh,
Bailey.
Bailey when she comes
Mm-hmm.
back, as say you took my place and
Mm-hmm.
yada yada yada. So it could lead down the road to that. All right. Nonetheless, all right, we got Stone Cold, almost killing somebody, with the four wheeler, by hitting the barricade, even though the barricade is really strong. And announce the attendance numbers for the night. And I just want to go on record. It's crazy. I really did not win tonight in terms of the predictions, right? A lot of my predictions were really off tonight, and I was a little, disgusted. But what I did predict last minute, ladies and gentlemen, uh, last night was I said, well, now 2 nights ago because it's 12:04 a.m. But what I said was they're only going to go up another 1,000 people, you know, and
They went up like 2,000 people. What do you mean?
it was like 62,000. It's like because the one that was 61,200,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I gave them their bump up, um, and once we get to the end, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But nonetheless, let's get now to the nitty gritty. What brought everybody to the dance tonight, which was the main event of WrestleMania 41, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Undisputed Championship. I'm gonna go with Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. Why don't you take this away?
Got it right here, ladies and gentlemen. A waste. Didn't like it. It was trash. Horrible in my opinion. What they did here, it was nothing but it was nothing more than a Brock Lesnar match. Um, 20 F5s and a couple of suplexes, and there you have it. Brock is your winner. Uh, what was memorable about this match was Cody getting his receipt back on Travis Scott. Travis Scott, put some ice on that eye. You might need it. Um, the tug of war shit with John and Cody. Oh my god. I hated
Mm-mm.
that shit. I did not know what the fuck I was looking at.
Mm-mm.
What the fuck was going on there? Was that Batman and Joker? Was that Randy and Hulk? I didn't understand it. I hated it. Um. Well, Cody, he can go sit down for a while and do what he need to do. All I can say is what I continued to say throughout the night: new champions, new contenders.
Hmm. Brandon thought.
Okay, well, for me, one, I thought that the whole concept, whether Cena turned heel or not, the concept of Cena at Rhodes on paper, in the graphics, the whole idea of it, I do believe that that's what put the butts in the seats because whenever I mentioned that I was watching WrestleMania this weekend, everyone was asking, is that where John Cena and Cody Rhodes is fighting? So whatever they did in terms of marketing and getting it out there, it's definitely got out there. When it came to the match, I was slightly underwhelmed. I expected a whole lot more from both, knowing that this is big match John taking on, Homelander Cody Rhodes, who has had a plethora all over the world of big matches and knowing how to tell stories. I don't know exactly what the story is. This also gave me to be continued, like maybe down the line at John Cena's finals match is actually going to be Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is going to be the one who retires John Cena, like it makes him ride off into the sunset. Because now that is a story that I felt like they started to tell tonight. I didn't like. I don't know who produced it. I didn't like the combo. I expected more people. It was very underwhelming when we talked about this WrestleMania and how people were like, "Oh, this WrestleMania is not going to be as good as last year," and for those reasons, I think this main event once again was underwhelming. But nonetheless, I did pick John Cena to win for him to get 17. He is at 17 over Ric Flair. He broke the record. It's a new record. Shouts out to John Cena and more power to him.
Um, I think that it, the match was very contrived. I mean, it just it felt too predictable. You know what I'm saying? And that was the part that I didn't like about it. The whole Travis Scott interference thing, I didn't really see the need for it. I mean, somebody needed to teach him how to sell a little bit more, because you can't sit there and just be down and jump back up. I mean, we need to talk to him about selling a little bit more. When it came down to John Cena, congratulations to him, of course, because despite everything else, he did beat a record that needed to be beat, right? So he did do that. And another interesting thing is that the audience went back to loving John Cena. Did you realize that?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that, first of all, this is a WrestleMania audience, right? And WrestleMania is an international audience. It's not just people locally from Las Vegas, right? So there's everybody that's from the different European countries from all over the world that come to the Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania. So you have to remember that this is also John Cena's last WrestleMania. It's no different when it was The Rock versus Hogan, and Rock was kind of like the face and Hogan was the heel, and we kind of seen the people in Toronto realize that we needed Hulkamania to be live again, and they got behind Hulk Hogan. It was more or less booing The Rock, so it was kind of that kind of setup.
I mean,
Yeah.
like even the thank you Cena chance, right? It's it just and at that moment, even though yes, the match ended pretty shitty, I really was happy for John Cena. I'm not a John Cena guy, but I was actually happy for John Cena.
Thing.
I hate to say that, but I was happy for him. Congratulations, congratulations.
Mhm.
He wasn't John. Basically, what's crazy is like when your mom tell you that stove is hot, don't touch it, and we still touch it, and then we just what I mean. John basically did that. He told us what he was going to do. He don't give a damn. It's like I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to win a championship. I'm going to go home. And I basically now see it in his character too. Maybe it's like throughout all that too. Like, hey, throughout all these years, I was here and I busted my ass and I did everything for y'all that would need to be done as far into the fans. I did everything. And then when the fucking part timers came back as like Brock Lesnar, you cheered from when he F5 the fuck out of me. When I was the first person he took the Suplex City, and y'all was happy about that. You know what I mean? Like y'all was underappreciated of me. So now you know what? I'm gonna do it back to y'all, and I'm gonna win in the ways that you cheered for the fucking very same guy, Brock Lesnar. Even though that's not what they're not using that name, or I'm not even sure that's where it's related to. But I'm thinking as John. Maybe that's what it is. Like he's
You're
gonna be the Brock
empathizing with the
Lesnar type
champ.
shit. Huh? Say that again.
I say you're empathizing with the champ.
Yeah, I
You
could
you
see
can
it.
put
So
yourself in the shoes and understand where it is he coming from. I kind of back that up. I
yeah,
understand it in a way too. I do. I get it. Also, if Cody Rhodes is supposed to be the new guy, when you don't win and things do not go your way, when I think was it Kathy who was trying to interview him and he just went on the bus with Brandy Rhodes. Like that's when Cena lost, he still signed autographs. He still showed up. Still was the
uh,
last person to leave. And now we're seeing this other side of Cody Rhodes where he don't have much words. He's still trying to be as gracious and grateful, but he don't have much words. And he gets on the Cody Express bus and now leave. And we wait to see what Monday Night Raw and or SmackDown has to hold for us. However, I just feel like if it was Cena, Cena would sign those kids' autographs. Cena would still, talk to the press and do the press conference. He wouldn't just take his ball and go home. So if you're supposed to be replacing him, Cody Rhodes, and I feel like you should have kind of been somewhere doing the same thing, but we'll see where it goes.
but too, Cody ain't never been a world champ before. He don't like the biggest pressure he had was doing all what he had to do with making his rounds as far as like um promotion wise for the company and all that. But now losing the title, he don't know how to
He's
deal
still
with
gonna
that.
do that shit. With
He's
him
still
not
gonna,
having a belt, he's
no,
still gonna be on Good Morning
you
America.
wait. You wait and you let me land. Thank
Well,
you.
hurry up. We're trying to go home here now.
Okay, well you wait. Um well, fuck it now. Thank you. Well, my fucking plane just crashed because you fucked me
All
up.
right. Well, thank you, fellas. That was WrestleMania weekend. All right. For 41 for night one and night two. Now, my brothers, I'm gonna ask the golden question, right? What we ask every year. We've been doing this on a scale of 1 to 10. One being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What would you rate this year's WrestleMania?
Well, 4.
Ah, that's really low. That's really low.
Because
Okay.
a bunch of those matches would be taken out the card, and a bunch of those matches would be taken off the card, and then you just have only one night of WrestleMania.
Mm. That was gonna be my follow up question. No, you see, you see, D. That's why you are a broadcast journalist. That was gonna be my follow up question.
Uh,
All right, Brandon, what you got?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I think there was decent matches, but I feel like I'm also voting the whole WrestleMania weekend, not just the two WrestleManias. So let me go with the regular WrestleManias and go with a 7.5. There was definitely room for improvement. There was people who were not on the card who wrestled all year. I felt like could have had storyline and been on the card and made it a more robust WrestleMania and not so much fluff. Nonetheless, I did like the stage. I like the pyrotechnics. I like that they had the fans or VIPs, whoever those people were in the movie seats, sitting on the stage. I like that they did the entrances, that they weren't too long, but they were enough to add enough theatrical component to WrestleMania so that it is still like the stage of stage. But to me, it was a lot of more promoting WrestleMania than of the actual show. So that's why I'm gonna keep it with a 7.5. And shout out to the Cody Rhodes with the Iron Man mask thing, because I wasn't sure if he was going to be the American Nightmare badass or Iron Rhodes. But other than that, 7.5.
and I got something to follow up after that,
All
after
right,
you mash out.
I'm gonna go with a 7. The reason why I'm gonna say a 7 was I like the pageantry, as well. I think that there should have been matches that were removed from the card. I think that they're putting too much pressure on themselves to do 2 nights every year. I think that if we don't need to. It actually means you having more matches than the regular WrestleMania would have had, and you're putting a lot of pressure on to put storylines and matches together in the short form so you could get them on the card. I believe that if stories were told a lot more, my score would have been a lot higher. But D, what you were gonna say?
WWE is at a place right now where they're too rich. They're getting too rich, and when you get too rich, you start forgetting. You start forgetting like you start forgetting where you came from. You know what I mean? It's like they a little bit. They need to scale back and go back to that because I feel like they just throwing shit out at us and just be like, well, they're gonna love it regardless. They're gonna eat it up regardless. That's what I get from that. But it was a bunch of shit that didn't need to be on that card, and like how Brandon said, it was a whole bunch of other shit that happened throughout the year with had some story that could have been continued and it could have led up to this point of having a fucking having a match on the card at WrestleMania. I felt like we needed those talents and those storylines at WrestleMania. And then it was like a whole bunch of a feeling. Bailey got hurt, put Becky in. Kevin got hurt, call up Joe Hendry, and then we get a big pop, and it'll keep going around like for more talk around the IWC. I don't know. I didn't give a fuck about the pageantry. I did care about like the new ring gears and shit like that. Um,
That's part of the pageantry.
well, I'm thinking pageantry means like pyro, okay, whatever. But that's what I liked. Ring gear and all that. Everything else. mm, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got all that out. All right. That it was night one, night two of the WrestleMania card, folks. Anybody that's on Facebook, make sure that you comment under our page because we want to talk about it on the next show. Make sure that anybody that rewatches or watches our YouTube, that you comment under there as well, because we definitely going to be talking about it on next show. By the way, Brandon Thought, thank you for allowing me to do the hosting duties for this,
No
uh,
problem.
rigmarole that we just put together tonight. It was a hell of a show in terms of WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2. We got that out of the way because I always get like anxiety and anxiousness myself coming up to that day, because I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like we're a part of it, right? We feel like
We
we want
are,
it to
yeah,
go,
we are.
really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get that anxious, just like when it's coming up to SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you want to nail it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I think when we really do well, we can let the other people that are naysayers about professional wrestling, people that the casual watch of professional wrestling and just talk shit, they can see like, nah, this is some real shit. This is
Mm-hmm.
some real shit, and this is what we're a part of. You know what I'm saying? So, I do truly believe that. But before we get off, obviously, please like, share, and subscribe our show. Okay, make sure you comment again under our posts and things of that nature. We're gonna be back in a few in terms of our regular show. This was just a spur of the moment thing, and I got texts from people that are enjoying our show tonight. So, any words, any final thoughts, Brandon Thought?
I want to always let people know, fear is an illusion. Don't be fearful of things. If you wait for the perfect conditions if a writer waits for perfect conditions to write, they'll never put, pen to paper. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Go out there, face your fears, and do it. I'm Brandon Thoughts. I have Random Thoughts, Brandon Lee.
All right, Big Daddy Cool, Sour Diesel.
Cool.
Yo, don't be thirsty in these streets. Try to get a drink about it. And that's all I gotta say about that.
So, other than that, okay. Other than that,
No, that was supposed to be a fab quote, but I said it wrong.
yeah, I knew where you were going, and I knew where you were going, and I was waiting for you to clean it up. But I
I
said,
think he
you know
said, "What be in these streets? What be in these streets thirsty? Try to get a drink about it."
what?
Yeah, what be in these streets thirsty?
Yes.
Try to get a drink about it.
All right. Also, like again, we love you for listening and being a part of our world here, the Three Amigos. We will see you on our next show, and we are gone.
Peace. Enjoy your work week.
Peace, guys.
Happy Easter.
Yes.